Hello everyone, welcome to Simplified Whispers. Today we're diving into an in-depth breakdown of The Uncomfortable Truth About Money by Paul Podolsky. Money, it's everywhere. It dictates our choices, influences our emotions, and ultimately determines the kind of life we can live. Yet, most people don't truly understand how it works. This book isn't just about personal finance. It's about the bigger picture. Why do some people get rich while others struggle? What are the hidden financial traps no one talks about? And most importantly, how can you take control of your financial future? In this full summary, we'll explore every major chapter of the book, breaking down its most powerful lessons into simple, actionable insights. Whether you're just starting your financial journey or looking for ways to refine your money mindset, this episode will change how you think about wealth, success, and financial security. Let's get started. Chapter 1. Caged. We're starting with Chapter 1. Caged. And yes, the title says it all. Money is a cage. But the good news? It's a cage we can learn to navigate. Let's break it down. Paul Podolsky kicks things off with a personal story. Picture this. It's 1997. He's 29 years old, standing on a Brooklyn sidewalk, holding his 3-year-old son's hand, watching a bunch of rats scurry between his apartment building and a stack of garbage. In that moment, reality hits him hard. Something has to change, fast. He realizes that if he wants a better life for his family, he needs money. Not just for comfort, but for basic dignity and security. That's when his journey to understanding money begins. Podolsky describes money as a flickering candle, unstable, unpredictable, and constantly shifting. One day, you feel financially secure, and the next, a crisis hits. Sound familiar? He makes a powerful point. We think about money more than we think about sex, and most of those thoughts are anxious ones. Why? Because money isn't just about wealth, it's about control, choices, and security. But here's the key takeaway. Understanding how money works can set you free. You don't need to be a Wall Street expert. You just need to know the basics of saving, investing, and protecting yourself from financial chaos. Podolsky's own journey started with zero knowledge. He was earning just $38,000 a year in New York City, covering the cotton market as a financial journalist. He saw traders who understood money in a way he didn't. That's when he realized, if he wanted a better life, he needed to learn how money actually works. Fast forward 20 years, and he's now a partner at one of the world's biggest hedge funds. But guess what? Even then, he realizes that money doesn't solve everything. It's just a tool, a means to an end, not the end itself. One of the most beautiful insights in this chapter is about balance. Podolsky talks about the importance of awe. Those little moments in life that truly matter. Watching birds with his mother before she passed away. Holding his newborn children. Traveling to new places. These are the moments that make life meaningful. But here's the tough reality check. Money is still a shackle. It ties us to rent, health insurance, and retirement. We can't escape it, but we can learn to work with it. Podolsky puts it bluntly. Having a frank conversation about money is like having a frank conversation about sex. Awkward, but necessary. And that's exactly what this book is. The money talk we all need, but never have. Podolsky also shares something deeply personal. His struggle with dyslexia. He grew up thinking he wasn't smart enough to succeed. But here's what he learned. Understanding money isn't about being a genius. It's about figuring out what you're good at, aligning it with what the world needs, and building a life that works for you. And that's the real takeaway of this chapter. Money may be unstable. Jobs, savings, even entire economies can collapse overnight. But instead of fearing that instability, we can learn to navigate it. He leaves us with this thought: if you don't want to get wiped out, study how things work. And that's exactly what we'll do as we continue this journey through the book. Chapter 2. Disruption. Now we're diving into Chapter 2. Disruption from the Uncomfortable Truth About Money by Paul Podolsky. If Chapter 1 taught us that money is a cage, this chapter shows us that the bars of that cage are constantly moving. Disruption is the name of the game. The economy shifts, industries collapse, new ones emerge. And if you don't adapt, you get left behind. Let's break it down. Podolsky starts with an uncomfortable truth. We want stability from money, but it can't provide it. Think about it. Prices rise, salaries change, entire industries disappear overnight. You can't control that, but you can control how you respond to it. He uses a powerful example from his own life. He grew up watching his mother battle cancer, a heartbreaking experience that taught him early on that life is uncertain. Later, he saw how financial uncertainty worked the same way. His father, a scientist who worked under Robert Oppenheimer, believed in logic and stability, but even he couldn't fully predict the economic turbulence that would come. The lesson? You can't rely on external stability. You have to create your own internal resilience. Podolsky introduces us to one of the biggest disruptors of all, creative destruction. This term, coined by economist Joseph Schumpeter, explains how innovation constantly destroys old industries to make way for new ones. Think about it. Horses were replaced by cars. Typewriters were replaced by computers. Today, AI is replacing jobs that once seemed secure. Disruption is inevitable, and it's happening faster than ever. The key is learning how to ride the wave instead of getting crushed by it. Now, this might sound terrifying, but there's good news. If you understand disruption, you can prepare for it. Podolsky gives us a roadmap. Recognize the pattern. Economic shifts follow cycles, booms, busts, rebounds. Knowing this helps you stay calm when chaos hits. Diversify your skills. The days of working one job for life are over. The more adaptable you are, the safer you'll be. Control what you can. You can't stop inflation, but you can learn how to invest wisely and manage your expenses. Podolsky also shares a crucial insight about how we think about money. He explains that people who navigate financial chaos best are those who separate logic from emotion. They don't panic when the stock market drops. They don't get greedy when things are going well. He says, good investors don't just see numbers. They see stories, human emotions, and cycles. If you train yourself to think this way, you'll make smarter financial decisions. But here's the biggest takeaway of all. Disruption isn't just something that happens to the economy. It happens in our personal lives too. Podolsky shares how his own children struggled with unique learning styles and how he had to adapt his financial strategies to support them. The lesson? The more you prepare for life's disruptions, the better you can handle them when they come. Because let's be real, disruptions aren't going away. Jobs change, industries shift, personal emergencies happen. But if you build a solid foundation, you can weather any storm. So, what's the key lesson from Chapter 2? Disruptions are inevitable, but panic is optional. Money will never be truly stable, and that's okay. The trick is to stay ahead, stay informed, and stay adaptable. As Podolsky puts it, if you don't want to get wiped out, study how things work. And that's exactly what we're doing here. Chapter 3. Income. Next, Chapter 3. Income. If Chapter 1 showed us that money is a cage, and Chapter 2 taught us that disruption is inevitable, this chapter gets practical. How do we actually make money in an unpredictable world? Let's break it down. Podolsky starts with a fundamental question. How much money do you actually need to survive? It sounds simple, but most people never sit down and calculate it. They work hard, earn money, and spend without a clear strategy. His advice? Start with a spreadsheet. Know your absolute minimum expenses: rent, food, transportation, healthcare. Once you know your baseline, you'll have clarity on what kind of income you need to aim for. Next, he asks, what do you offer the world? What skills, talents, or knowledge do you have that people are willing to pay for? This is where self-awareness comes in. Podolsky shares his own journey, how he started as a journalist earning $38,000 a year, barely scraping by. Over time, he realized that financial knowledge was a skill people valued. He transitioned into finance, climbed the ladder, and eventually became a hedge fund partner. The key takeaway: you get paid for solving problems. The bigger the problem, the bigger the paycheck. But here's where it gets interesting. Scale matters. Podolsky introduces an important concept. Some careers have built-in scale, while others don't. For example, a local musician can play at bars and make a modest living, but a musician who leverages the internet can sell music worldwide and multiply their income. The same goes for doctors, engineers, and software developers. Some jobs are naturally limited in income potential, while others have no ceiling. Understanding this helps you make better career choices. Now, here's the real game changer. Change is constant. The skills that made you money 5 years ago might not be valuable today. Entire industries are evolving. AI, automation, and globalization are reshaping the job market. If you want to stay ahead, you have to keep learning, keep adapting. Podolsky points out that most of the companies he worked for early in his career don't even exist anymore. But because he paid attention to trends and pivoted when necessary, he stayed relevant and kept increasing his income. His advice? Treat your career like an investment. Keep upgrading your skills, diversify your income sources, and always be prepared to pivot. So, what's the big takeaway from Chapter 3? Know your number. Calculate how much money you actually need. Find your value. Identify what skills you have that people are willing to pay for. Think about scale. Are you choosing a career path with income limitations or one with unlimited growth? Adapt or get left behind. Keep learning, keep evolving, and always be ready for change. Podolsky's message is clear. Money is not about luck, it's about strategy. The better your strategy, the better your financial future. Chapter 4. Prices. If you've ever wondered why things cost what they do, or why your salary might feel stagnant while everything else gets more expensive, this chapter has the answers. Prices don't just reflect costs, they tell stories about power, perception, and psychology. Let's break it down. Podolsky starts by making a simple but profound point. Prices are never neutral. They are influenced by everything: market demand, government policies, global supply chains, and even human psychology. For example, why do people pay $5 for a cup of coffee when they could make one at home for 50 cents? Because pricing isn't just about cost, it's about perceived value. Starbucks isn't selling coffee, It's selling an experience. And this applies to salaries, rent, groceries, everything in our economy. One of the most eye-opening ideas in this chapter is that we rarely set our own prices. Someone else usually does it for us. Think about it. If you work a 9-to-5 job, your employer decides your salary. If you rent an apartment, your landlord sets the price. Even businesses don't have full control. Market forces and competitors influence what they can charge. The lesson? If you want to have more control over your financial life, you need to understand how prices work and how to position yourself to benefit from them. Podolsky also dives into the hidden impact of inflation. We hear about inflation all the time, but what does it actually mean? In simple terms, inflation erodes the value of money over time. That's why $1 today doesn't buy what it did 20 years ago. He gives a striking example. If you kept $10,000 in cash under your mattress for 30 years, its purchasing power would be dramatically reduced. But if you had invested it in assets like stocks or real estate, it would have grown. The takeaway? If your money isn't growing, it's shrinking. Another fascinating part of this chapter is how businesses set prices based on psychology. For example, the power of 9. Ever wonder why things cost $9.99 instead of $10? Because our brains perceive $9.99 as cheaper, even though it's basically the same as $10. Luxury pricing. High-end brands intentionally set outrageous prices to make their products seem more exclusive and desirable. Subscription traps. Many services use low introductory prices to get you hooked, then slowly raise rates over time. Understanding these tactics can help you become a smarter consumer and even a smarter earner. So, what are the big takeaways from Chapter 4? Prices aren't just numbers, they're signals. They reflect perception, demand, and power. Most of us don't control our own prices. Employers, landlords, and corporations set them for us. Inflation is real and unavoidable. If you're not growing your wealth, you're losing it. Businesses use psychology to influence what we pay. Knowing this can help you make smarter financial decisions. Chapter 5. Costs. Money isn't just about numbers. It's about power, status, and mobility. Whether we like it or not, societies have financial castes, structured economic groups that define opportunities and limitations. The question is, can you break out of your financial caste? Let's break it down. Podolsky starts by making an uncomfortable point. Economic mobility is harder than we think. Many people believe that with hard work, anyone can become rich. But the reality is, where you're born financially shapes your opportunities. Think about it. A child born into wealth gets better education, connections, and fewer financial stresses. Meanwhile, someone from a low-income background faces challenges at every step. Student loans, fewer job opportunities, and systemic biases. So, is it possible to move between financial castes? Yes, but it's not easy. Podolsky outlines 3 factors that help people climb the financial ladder. Education and skills. The more valuable your skills, the more leverage you have in the economy. Networking and social capital. Who you know often matters as much as what you know. Financial literacy. Understanding how money works gives you an edge. The takeaway: if you weren't born into wealth, you need to be strategic about breaking out of financial limitations. Podolsky also highlights the dangers of staying stuck in a financial caste mindset. Many people unknowingly limit themselves by accepting financial norms from their upbringing. If you grew up in a family that avoided investing, feared debt, or saw money as evil, those beliefs might be holding you back. Breaking out of a financial caste isn't just about earning more. It's about rethinking your relationship with money. So, what are the key takeaways from Chapter 5? Financial castes exist, but they aren't unbreakable. Hard work alone isn't enough. You need strategy, skills, and connections. Your mindset about money shapes your financial reality. Financial education and networking can help you break barriers. Podolsky's message is clear. If you want financial mobility, you need to think beyond just working harder. You need to work smarter. Chapter 6: Office Politics. Love it or hate it, office politics shape careers. Whether you're climbing the corporate ladder or just trying to survive workplace drama, understanding these dynamics is key. The question is, can you play the game without losing your integrity? Let's break it down. Podolsky starts with a truth we often ignore. Competence alone doesn't guarantee success. You might be great at your job, but if you don't understand workplace power structures, you might get stuck while others move ahead. The biggest mistake people make, thinking that office politics don't apply to them. The reality is, every workplace has an unspoken hierarchy, and if you don't navigate it strategically, you're at a disadvantage. So, how do you handle office politics without compromising your values? Podolsky suggests 3 key strategies. Build relationships, not just skills. Who you know matters as much as what you know. Learn how decisions are made. Understand who holds influence and how they use it. Control your reputation. Perception often outweighs reality. Be mindful of how you present yourself. Podolsky also warns about common workplace traps that can stall your career. Over-reliance on merit. Thinking that working hard alone will get you ahead. Ignoring office politics. Believing you can stay neutral while others navigate power games. Underestimating allies and enemies. Failing to recognize who supports or undermines you. So, what are the key takeaways from Chapter 6? Competence isn't enough. You need to navigate workplace dynamics. Networking and relationships are crucial for career growth. Office politics exist. Ignoring them won't help you. Strategic awareness can help you succeed without compromising integrity. Podolsky's message is clear. If you want career success, you need to master both your job and the politics around it. That's it for Chapter 6. Up next, Chapter 7: Error. Mistakes happen to everyone, but when it comes to money and careers, some mistakes cost more than others. The real question is, how do we turn financial and professional errors into learning experiences? Let's break it down. Podolsky makes an important point. Failure is inevitable, but how we respond to it makes all the difference. Whether it's a bad investment, a wrong career move, or overspending, financial mistakes don't define us. Our reactions do. The people who recover fastest are those who acknowledge their errors, analyze them, and adjust accordingly. So, what are the most common financial and career mistakes? Podolsky identifies a few major ones. Chasing trends instead of fundamentals. Jumping into investments because of hype rather than research. Ignoring risk management. Taking financial risks without considering worst-case scenarios. Avoiding difficult conversations. Whether it's salary negotiations or financial planning, silence costs money. Letting emotions drive decisions. Fear and greed can lead to poor financial choices. Podolsky also emphasizes that error isn't the enemy. Inaction is. Many people are so afraid of making mistakes that they never take action. but avoiding financial decisions, whether it's investing, negotiating, or career planning, often leads to missed opportunities. The takeaway? Fail fast, learn faster. The key is to minimize the impact of mistakes, adjust quickly, and keep moving forward. So, what are the key takeaways from Chapter 7? Mistakes are inevitable. Your response to them matters most. Avoid hype-driven decisions. Focus on fundamentals. Risk management is key. Prepare for downturns. Never let fear keep you from taking smart financial actions. Podolsky's message is clear. Errors don't define you. How you recover from them does. Chapter 8. Debt. One of the most feared words in finance. But here's the thing. Not all debt is bad. In fact, some debt can actually make you richer. The key is knowing the difference between good debt and bad debt. Let's break it down. Podolsky explains that debt is neither good nor bad on its own. It all depends on how you use it. For example, taking out a loan to buy a house or invest in education can be considered good debt because these things have the potential to increase your wealth or earning potential over time. But maxing out a credit card on impulse purchases, that's bad debt. Why? Because it doesn't create value. It just locks you into high interest payments that drain your financial future. One of the most eye-opening insights in this chapter is how the rich use debt to build wealth. Podolsky explains that many wealthy people borrow money to invest in assets, things like real estate, businesses, or stocks. These assets then generate more income than the interest on the loan, making debt work in their favor. Meanwhile, the average person often uses debt to buy things that lose value, like new cars, gadgets, and vacations. This is what keeps them financially stuck. So, how do you avoid falling into bad debt while making the most of good debt? Podolsky lays out a simple approach. Know your interest rates. Credit cards often have insanely high interest rates, sometimes over 20%. If you're carrying a balance, you're digging yourself into a financial hole. Use debt to buy appreciating assets. If it grows in value or generates income, it's good debt. If not, think twice before borrowing. Avoid lifestyle inflation. Just because you qualify for a bigger loan doesn't mean you should take it. More debt means more financial stress. Always have an exit plan. Can you realistically pay off your debt if something unexpected happens? If not, reconsider taking it on. Podolsky also warns about the psychological trap of debt. Many people get comfortable making minimum payments, not realizing that interest is quietly draining their finances. He calls it the slow bleed, a financial trap where people lose money without realizing it. The best way to avoid this? Pay off high-interest debt as fast as possible and only borrow when absolutely necessary. So, what are the key takeaways from Chapter 8? Not all debt is bad. If it helps you grow financially, it's a tool, not a burden. The rich use debt to their advantage. They borrow to invest, not just to spend. High-interest debt is dangerous. If you're paying 20% interest on a credit card, that's an emergency. Have a debt strategy. Plan your loans wisely and avoid borrowing more than you need. Chapter 9. Sources. Where does money actually come from? And more importantly, how do you build multiple income sources to secure financial stability? Relying on one paycheck is risky. So how do you create financial resilience? Let's break it down. Podolsky makes a crucial point. Most people rely on only one source of income, which leaves them vulnerable. If your job is your only financial lifeline, what happens if you lose it? The wealthy understand that money should come from multiple streams: salary, investments, side businesses, and more. The key to financial security is diversification. So, what are the main sources of income that people can leverage? Podolsky highlights 4 major categories: earned income, the money you make from your job or profession; investment income, profits from stocks, dividends, real estate, or other assets; business income, money generated from owning a business or freelancing; passive income, royalties, rental income, and money earned without daily effort. The takeaway: relying on just one source of income is dangerous. Diversify your streams to create financial stability. Podolsky also warns about the trap of job dependency. Many people feel financially safe because they have a stable salary, but that salary is controlled by someone else. If your employer decides to downsize, you're instantly at risk. The solution? Start building additional income streams now, even if they're small. So, how can you start diversifying your income today? Here's Podolsky's approach. Start investing. Even small investments compound over time. Build a side hustle. Whether it's freelancing, coaching, or selling products, start small. Monetize your skills. Turn hobbies or expertise into revenue streams. Look into passive income options. Real estate, royalties, or digital products can create long-term earnings. So, what are the key takeaways from Chapter 9? Relying on one income source is risky. Diversification is key. The wealthy build income streams beyond just their salary. Investing, business, and passive income can provide long-term security. Start small, but start now. Financial resilience takes time to build. Podolsky's message is clear. The best way to secure your financial future is to create multiple paths to wealth. Chapter 10. Assets. We hear the term assets all the time, but what does it really mean? And more importantly, how do you build and protect assets that create long-term wealth? Let's break it down. Podolsky starts with a fundamental truth. Assets are what separate the wealthy from everyone else. Simply put, an asset is anything that puts money in your pocket over time. But not all assets are created equal. The key is knowing which ones appreciate, grow in value, and which ones don't. Podolsky categorizes assets into 4 main types: financial assets, stocks, bonds, and mutual funds that grow over time; real assets, real estate, land, and property that appreciate with demand; business assets, companies, patents, and intellectual property that generate income; alternative assets, crypto, gold, collectibles, and anything outside traditional investments. The lesson? Your goal isn't just to make money. It's to turn that money into valuable assets that grow on their own. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking their salary is an asset. Your job provides income, but it isn't an asset. It's a dependency. True financial security comes from owning things that make money even when you're not working. So, how do you build assets strategically? Podolsky suggests, start small, but start now. Even a little investment today compounds over time. Diversify your assets. Don't rely on one type. Mix stocks, real estate, and alternative investments. Think long-term. The best assets grow over decades, not months. Reinvest. Keep putting money back into your assets to grow wealth faster. Podolsky also warns about false assets, things that seem valuable but actually drain wealth. Luxury cars, fancy gadgets, and high-maintenance properties might look like assets, but they lose value over time. The key is to focus on income-generating and appreciating assets. So, what are the key takeaways from Chapter 10? Assets are the foundation of wealth. Focus on owning, not just earning. Financial, real, business, and alternative assets all play a role. Your salary isn't an asset. Build things that generate money on their own. Avoid false assets. Focus on things that appreciate in value. Podolsky's message is clear. If you want financial freedom, don't just work for money. Make your money work for you. Chapter 11. Portfolios. Building wealth isn't just about owning assets, it's about managing them strategically. A good portfolio isn't just a collection of investments, it's a financial plan that balances risk and reward. Let's break it down. Podolsky starts with a key principle. A portfolio is like a recipe. Just like a good meal requires the right mix of ingredients, a strong portfolio needs the right mix of assets to maximize growth while minimizing risk. Put too much of your money in one place and you're exposed. Spread it too thin and you might not see meaningful returns. Balance is everything. So, how do you build the right portfolio? Podolsky outlines three major components: growth assets, stocks, businesses, and high-yield investments that have high upside but also carry more risk. Defensive assets, bonds, cash reserves, and low-risk investments that provide stability. Alternative investments, real estate, commodities, and crypto, which add diversification. The takeaway: a strong portfolio isn't about chasing big wins. It's about managing risk while growing wealth over time. Podolsky also stresses the importance of risk management. Many investors make the mistake of going all in on one asset class, whether it's stocks, crypto, or real estate. But history shows that markets move in cycles. The best portfolios are prepared for both booms and busts. So how do you manage risk? Here's Podolsky's approach. Diversify across different asset classes. Don't put all your money into just one type of investment. Rebalance regularly. Markets change. Adjust your portfolio as needed. Keep a long-term mindset. Avoid emotional decision-making based on short-term fluctuations. Understand your risk tolerance. Invest in a way that lets you sleep at night. Another key insight: your portfolio should match your financial goals. If you're young, you might focus more on high-growth assets. If you're nearing retirement, stability and income-generating investments become more important. If you want passive income, you might prioritize dividend stocks or rental properties. The point is, there's no one-size-fits-all portfolio. Your investments should reflect your stage in life. So what are the key takeaways from Chapter 11? A portfolio is a strategic mix of assets, not just random investments. Balance risk and reward. Don't chase quick gains. Diversification protects you from market fluctuations. Your investments should align with your financial goals. Podolsky's message is clear. A great portfolio isn't built overnight, but with patience and strategy, it becomes your greatest financial tool. Chapter 12. Schools of Thought. When it comes to money, everyone has an opinion, from Wall Street investors to your grandparents. But where do these ideas come from? And more importantly, which financial philosophy should you follow? Let's break it down. Podolsky makes an interesting observation. Our beliefs about money aren't just personal. They're shaped by history, culture, and economics. The way we manage money is often influenced by the financial school of thought we subscribe to, even if we don't realize it. Some people believe in extreme saving, while others swear by aggressive investing. Some avoid debt at all costs, while others use leverage to grow wealth. Who's right? That depends on your goals. So, what are the major financial schools of thought? Podolsky breaks them down into three main categories: conservative finance, prioritizing saving, low-risk investments, and financial security. Think of traditional advice like live below your means and never go into debt. Growth-oriented investing, focused on building wealth through high-return investments, entrepreneurship, and leveraging debt wisely. Alternative wealth models, cryptocurrency, FIRE, financial independence, retire early, and unconventional approaches to financial freedom. The key takeaway: there's no single right way to manage money. You need to find a strategy that works for you. Podolsky also warns against blindly following one financial philosophy. Many people latch onto one idea, whether it's extreme frugality, real estate investing, or stock trading, without adapting as their life circumstances change. The best financial thinkers aren't rigid. They combine multiple schools of thought to create a strategy that balances security, growth, and flexibility. So, how do you develop your own financial philosophy? Here's Podolsky's advice. Understand the different schools of thought. Learn about different financial strategies before committing to one. Align your money philosophy with your goals. Are you aiming for security, aggressive growth, or early retirement? Stay adaptable. As markets change and personal goals evolve, your strategy should too. Avoid extremes. A mix of conservative saving, smart investing, and alternative opportunities often leads to the best outcomes. So, what are the key takeaways from Chapter 12? Our money habits are shaped by financial schools of thought. Conservative saving, growth investing, and alternative wealth strategies each have value. Avoid being too rigid. Adapt your financial strategy as needed. Your financial philosophy should be intentional, not accidental. Podolsky's message is clear. Money isn't one size fits all. Learn, adapt, and build a strategy that works for you. Chapter 13. Work stop. What happens when you stop working? Whether it's retirement, early financial independence, or an unexpected career pause, how you prepare for a work stop moment determines your financial future. Let's break it down. Podolsky starts with a tough reality. Most people don't plan for the day they stop working. We assume we'll work forever, but life is unpredictable. Health issues, layoffs, burnout, or simply wanting to retire early can force us to rethink our relationship with work. The question is, are you financially ready to stop working when you need to? So, what does it take to prepare for a work stop? Podolsky outlines three critical pillars. Financial independence, having enough savings and investments to live without relying on a paycheck. Purpose, beyond work, knowing what you'll do when work isn't your identity. Flexibility, building a financial cushion that allows you to stop, restart, or pivot as needed. The takeaway? Retirement isn't about age. It's about financial readiness and life planning. One of the biggest mistakes people make is not calculating how much they actually need to retire. Podolsky emphasizes the importance of understanding your work stop number, the amount of money required to sustain your lifestyle without a paycheck. This means factoring in expenses, inflation, healthcare, and emergencies. So, how do you reach financial independence faster? Podolsky suggests, save aggressively. The more you save now, the sooner you can stop working. Invest wisely. Let your money grow through diversified assets. Reduce expenses. A simpler lifestyle means needing less to retire. Create passive income. Rental properties, dividends, or royalties can replace a paycheck. Podolsky also highlights a crucial point. Retirement isn't just about money, it's about purpose. Many people struggle after they stop working because their identity was tied to their job. The happiest retirees have a plan, whether it's travel, hobbies, volunteering, or starting new projects. Money gives you freedom, but purpose gives you fulfillment. So, what are the key takeaways from Chapter 13? Retirement isn't about age, it's about financial readiness. Know your work stop number, how much money you need to live comfortably. Financial independence is built through saving, investing, and reducing expenses. Stopping work is easier when you have a plan for what comes next. Podolsky's message is clear. The goal isn't just to stop working, it's to build a life where you don't have to work. Chapter 14. Sniper's Alley. What are the hidden financial risks that can destroy wealth? Sometimes the biggest threats aren't the ones we see coming, but the ones that hit us when we least expect it. Are you prepared for financial snipers? Let's break it down. Podolsky describes Sniper's Alley as the dangerous zone in finance where people think they're safe until something unexpected wipes them out. The biggest financial risks come from what we don't see coming. It could be a sudden layoff, a medical emergency, a housing crash, or inflation eating away at savings. If you're not prepared, a single financial sniper can undo years of progress. So, how do you protect yourself from financial snipers? Podolsky outlines key strategies. Emergency fund. Always have 6 to 12 months worth of expenses saved. Insurance, health, life, and disability. Insurance are non-negotiable. Diversification. Don't put all your money into one investment. Spread it out. Living below your means. Avoid financial overextension so you can survive downturns. Adaptability. Be ready to pivot in your career, business, or investments when needed. The key takeaway: it's not about if a financial crisis will happen, it's about when. The best way to survive is to prepare in advance. Podolsky also warns about psychological blind spots. Many people assume that bad things won't happen to them, but financial history proves otherwise. The people who survive financial crises aren't the smartest or richest. They're the ones who plan for uncertainty. So, what are the key takeaways from Chapter 14? Financial snipers, unexpected risks can hit at any time. Emergency funds, insurance, and diversification protect you. Avoid overconfidence. Plan for what you don't see coming. Financial adaptability is key to long-term survival. Podolsky's message is clear. True financial security isn't about avoiding risk, it's about preparing for it. Chapter 15. Slogans. We've all heard them, those catchy financial slogans that sound wise but might not always be true. Money doesn't buy happiness. Invest for the long haul. Save 10% of your income. But do these slogans actually help us, or are they misleading? Let's break them down. Podolsky points out that financial slogans simplify complex issues, which can be helpful but also dangerous. A slogan like "buy low, sell high" makes sense in theory, but in reality, timing the market is nearly impossible. Cash is king works during a crisis, but in the long run, inflation erodes cash value. The key is understanding when and where these slogans actually apply. Scene shift. visuals of stock market fluctuations, inflation trends, and financial decision-making. Let's break down some of the most popular financial slogans and see if they hold up. Money doesn't buy happiness. Partly true. Once basic needs are met, more money doesn't always increase happiness. But financial security does reduce stress and create opportunities for fulfillment. Invest for the long haul. Generally true, long-term investing helps avoid emotional mistakes. But blindly holding on to bad investments without reassessing is a mistake. A penny saved is a penny earned. Saving is important, but earning power matters just as much. Sometimes focusing on income growth is smarter than extreme frugality. Avoid all debt. Bad debt, credit cards, high-interest loans should be avoided. But smart debt, investing in education, real estate, or a business can build wealth. Podolsky warns that blindly following slogans can lead to poor financial choices. Instead of relying on catchy phrases, we should question the context. When does the advice apply? And when doesn't it? Adapt based on personal goals. Financial strategies should be tailored, not one size fits all. Keep learning. Slogans should be starting points, not final answers. So, what are the key takeaways from Chapter 15? Financial slogans simplify complex realities. They aren't always true. Context matters. Good advice for one person may be bad for another. Don't follow slogans blindly. Question and adapt financial wisdom. A personalized approach beats one-size-fits-all money advice. Podolsky's message is clear. Smart financial decisions aren't based on slogans. They're based on knowledge, context, and strategy. Final review. The uncomfortable truth about money. Podolsky's book isn't just about money. It's about how money controls our choices, emotions, and opportunities. It's an honest, often brutal look at how wealth and financial systems really work. At its core, the book teaches 3 critical lessons. Money is a system. Understand it, or risk being trapped by it. Financial independence isn't about being rich. It's about control over your time and decisions. Smart financial choices come from awareness, not just hard work. Throughout the book, Podolsky breaks down key financial concepts, how income, prices, and debt shape our financial lives, why office politics and financial errors can make or break your career, how to build wealth through assets and portfolios, the hidden financial risks that can derail even the best plans, why blindly following financial slogans can lead to mistakes. Each chapter challenges us to think differently about money. It's not just about how much we earn, it's about how we manage, invest, and protect it. So, is the uncomfortable truth about money worth reading? If you're looking for a realistic, no-nonsense approach to personal finance, this book is a must-read. It's not just financial advice, it's a mindset shift. It forces you to ask tough questions. Are you really in control of your money, or is it controlling you? Are you building financial security, or just hoping things will work out? Do you understand risk, or are you ignoring the possibility of financial snipers? At the end of the day, Podolsky's message is clear. Financial success isn't about luck. It's about knowledge, strategy, and action. So, what's next? Take what you've learned and apply it. Whether it's creating an emergency fund, investing smarter, or simply questioning financial cliches, you now have the tools to build a stronger financial future. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. More insightful breakdowns are coming your way, so stay curious, stay financially smart, And as always, keep it simple with simplified whispers.